So hello everybody, my name is Ling Minhui. For today's video, we're going to be looking at risk and also about insurance mainly. So first, before we look at anything, let's discover about risk. So what is risk? Actually, risk is basically just like its name. It is the exposure to danger, harm, or loss. When we talk about risk, especially in finance, we're talking about the chance that you could lose your assets like your money, your home, or your car, or lose your earning potential. For example, if you invest your money in a company, there's a chance that the company might not do well and you could lose your money. So this will be a loss of assets and this is a big risk. Another example of risk would be a construction worker who gets hurt on the job. If the injury is bad enough, the worker might not be able to do the same kind of work anymore and might have to find a new job that could even pay less money. And it would be the loss of earning potential because the worker will no longer be making as much money as they were to. And this is a big risk. And so, why is risk so inevitable and uncertain? So, individuals face risk in their everyday life situations and especially in financial decisions where there's no way to completely eliminate risk and there's always some level of uncertainty involved in financial decisions. This is because there are so many factors that can affect an individual's financial situations, such as changes in the economy, job loss, unexpected expenses, or changes in consumer behavior. All of these factors are outside of an individual control, and it is impossible to predict exactly how they will affect their financial decisions. So, this is why it is important for individuals to be well aware of the potential risk and to have a plan to manage the risk. So, in general, the higher the risk is, the higher the potential return. This is because investors are willing to take more risk in order to potentially earn more money. For example, a stock that is considered risky might have the potential for a high return than a stock that's considered less risky. However, it is important to remember that there's no guarantee of a high return and there's always the bigger chance of loss here. So let's look at another concept, which is about risk management. Risk management is the process of identifying, analyzing, and responding to risk. Well, this involves looking at the potential risks involved in a financial decision, figuring out how likely they are to happen, and deciding how to respond. So there's a lot of risky things. Although you're not an investor, you could still face risks, such as like when you're being unemployed. So here you have the risk of losing your job and not being able to earn money. The risk of not being able to work and earn money because of a health problem, such as illness, injury, or disability. The risk of being sued or held responsible for something that caused financial loss. The risk of damage to your home or other property, like property damage. The risk of someone stealing your money or other assets, and etc. There's a lot of risk that we couldn't estimate and we couldn't calculate. So because risk is all around the world, there goes insurance. Insurance is a type of contract that transfers the risk of something bad happening into an insurance company. In exchanging for paying a fee or premium, the insurance company provides to help over the cost of inspectional events. So insurance work by spreading the risk of financial loss among many people. This is called pooling and diversifying risk. So different kinds of risk transactions could be happen like the insured one, that's you, that's the person who buys the insurance policy. The insurer, which is the one that will sell the policy and agree to pay for the covered loss. The agent, which is the one who introduced you to the insurance company and help you work independently to find the best policy. The underwriter, which is the person who decides how much risk they're willing to accept and how much charge for the premium. So insurance could come in lots of methods, from property insurance, health insurance, car insurance, and a lot of other things. And insurance company use math, especially probability and statistic, which I think are the two concepts that everybody know, to figure out how likely it is that someone will have a loss that they need to have to pay for. Or they look at an information about a person, like the age, where they live, and other factors to estimate how likely it is that they experience a covered loss. Then they use this information to set the premium price. Well, the higher the risk is, the higher the premium. So there's a lot of examples how to use insurance, but let's say we have a home insurance policy that might have a policy limit of $400,000. This means that if someone house is damaged on a fire, the insurance company will only pay up to $400,000 in claims, not too much more. So just like that. There's a lot of limits to insurance, but still, by actually having an insurance with your side, it's going to help you a lot. So, one more topic that I think is really necessary to be discussed here is about the cost of retirement and how to estimate them. So, why do we need a plan for retirement somehow? Well, did you know that people today are spending just as many years retired as they were working? Imagine working 30 years, receiving a regular paycheck, and then you retire and that paycheck stops. So, how will you pay for your day to day expenses? Let's say it maybe if you're like a worker of the country, like maybe a teacher, then you will still have paychecks when you retire. But what if I'm just a normal factory worker? Unfortunately, social security is only a small amount and usually starts much later after life. So you should start planning and saving on retirement. Retirement is actually something pretty hard. You could base on your children's or your grandkids to live with them, but usually you will be think as the financial burden and the one which usually your kids will get tired of caring for. So what do you need to do is to plan before anything else. So planning for retirement has many benefits, such as having enough incomes and savings to live comfortably, maintaining your standard of living, and have enough income and savings. So on the other hand, if you don't plan for retirement, it could have things such as like retirement saving gap, financial stress, or especially being a financial burden to your family. So after this video, what we've looked at is about introduction of insurance. So what we look here is not just things such as like risk, but we also relate them into insurance and make sure that we understand more about insurance. So thank you so much for listening. Bye.